how do you bring your best serve when difficult times come against you? As I was saying earlier, before I was significantly interrupted by internet problems, by different things, how do we bring our very best serve when things are against us? When our spouse has decided to leave us, when half of our staff does not show up, when the storms of difficulties have waged against us. There are 5 things that we can do on a regular basis that can help us bring our best serve. Let me tell you something that happened to me several years ago. I'd gone to Bulgaria with a group of people to serve all over the nation to teach about collaborative communication. We had finished our tour. It had been just an incredible time together. It had been an amazing time together. We were coming to the airport there in Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria. A storm was coming in, and originally it was forecasted that this storm would hit just after we left the airport. But oh no, all of a sudden, heavier snow had come down than I personally had ever seen before. Within about an hour, we had a foot of snow. I'm watching the airplane. The airplane's out on the tarmac that we would walk to and then walk up the ramp into the airplane. I believe it was a 747, but don't quote me on that. And it's a pretty big airplane. And I was concerned. I've got this group of people that I've led over there. There's about 10 of us. And all of our luggage is checked in. And now we're getting ready to board this plane that has been snowed on for the last hour. Snow has stacked up on the wings for about a foot. And I was concerned. I was concerned. But as the leader, regardless of what was going on, I could not show my anxiety. Because when you're the leader, when you're the restaurant leader, when you're the department leader, when you're the spouse that's in charge, that's supposed to lead the charge, you cannot show that anxiety of difficulties that difficulties bring. When you're the principal one, when you're the one that's leading. Hi, Diana. So glad. I love you. I love you, girl. And Robert, thanks for coming back. And no matter what, you can't show that trembling that's going on inside. You really have to demonstrate strength and courage. Even though you're quivering on the inside, you have to do that. And so that day, I began to think about how do you bring your best serve in the midst of this? Because here we were customers. The only thing in our mind was getting off that tarmac safely and getting on the next one safely. We weren't really thinking about everything else except for the storm and what we thought it was going to stop us from doing. And on any given day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, when you're an LG, you're a lunch lady or a lunch guy, lunch girl or a lunch guy, and you come in to your school restaurant. Normally you have 5 on the staff, but today only 3 of you are there. You still have students that expect the best. You come into work and you've got a deal going on and things are happening and you wonder how you're going to get it all done. Your clients still expect you to get it done. Everybody. When you have a sore throat and you're the speaker, you're the one, you're the keynote, you're the one that's going to be in room 202 and 203 and there's going to be 150 people that show up. They don't really care how sick you are, how frightened you are. They don't care. They don't want to give you therapy. What they want to do is be there and receive your best serve. So how do we do that? How do we do that? I learned something that day because I didn't know anything about flying. And the pilot himself, he wasn't frightened. He knew this was going to be an easy deal. And here's why. Because he'd already been through storms. See, and here's the thing. As the leader, as the principal influencer, you've already been through storms. You ought to be able to get through this one too. And you can. And you can. 5 things to get through. The very first thing I learned that day, When we took off, we'd buttoned up, we'd locked down. I was watching outside the window. I don't normally sit by the window, yet that day I wanted to sit close to a window because I wanted to see what was going on. When we took off, it was total whiteout. You couldn't see anything. And what that captain did of that airplane, he bared the plane up out of the storm. He came up out of that storm as that storm was raging. To all of us, it was the kind of storm that would have grounded us. Just like sometimes when difficulties come against you and I, we think it's... And secondarily, we have to remember our why. We have to remember our why. That day, that captain, his co-captain, and all of his team, they were there, and their why was to get us from Sofia, Bulgaria, out of there to our next location so that we could go through customs in Frankfurt, Germany. And then from there, wherever the rest of us on that plane were going, we were coming home to California. And we've got to remember our why. What's your why? Regardless of the changes, regardless of the storm, regardless of what's going on in your life, regardless of the people that have disembarked, regardless of those ones that have given up, regardless of those friends that have given up, regardless of those ones that have backstabbed you, regardless of those ones that have gossiped and slandered about you, regardless of the ones who have betrayed you, what's the reason why you're here? Okay? What's the reason why? And your why is bigger than the difficulties. If the difficulties could put you down, then you don't have a big enough why. All right? You don't have a big enough why. And I want you to know, so the first thing is this. You got to bear up. Bear up above the fray of the storm. Go up above the fray of the storm, just like every pilot knows what I'm talking about. And then the second thing is you got to remember your why. And if you don't have a big enough why to help you bear up, you need a bigger why. You need a bigger why. You haven't made a big enough commitment to yourself, okay? And your why is not a commitment to other people. It's a commitment to who you really are. It's a commitment to who you really are. And then, now listen, while it's in the process of going on, you must invest in those you serve. And the way you do that is to focus on the why. Focus on why you're there and just get on with your serve. Because here's what happens. Number 4, I want to challenge us to never lose focus. Because here's what I noticed. As we were boarding the plane, all we could see was the snow. All we could see was the weather, this white stuff coming down. And like I said, when we took off, there was about a foot of snow on the wings. I kept thinking about the weight of it. I kept thinking about all kinds of things. I lost focus on the 10 people that I was there to serve to get out of Bulgaria as well. And on the inside, the truth is, I was a bit afraid. I was a bit afraid-y cat. Have you ever done that? Have you ever lost focus of your why? You just lose focus. So number 1 is bear up. Go above the storm. Number 2, remember your why. Get a big why. Get a big why. Upgrade your why. If this little old difficulty, half of your team not showing up would cause you to stop, then get a bigger why. Come on. If a little bit of difficulty because somebody has decided they don't like you, they've moved you off of their friend list onto their non-friend list, get a bigger why. If that could stop you and cause you to lose focus, you need a bigger why. This difficulty is here to remind you, you don't have a big enough why if somebody gossiping about you would cause you to stop. Right, Lucy? If it would cause you to stop, then this particular storm is here to remind you. It's a telegraph. It's a newsletter. It's an autographed copy of Get a Bigger Why. Okay, get a bigger why. So you bear up above the storm. You remember your why, and you invest in those you serve. You just turn and focus away from the storm into the people that you serve. Who do you serve? Who are you here for? What's your why? You say, well, I have this job. I started my business, and I started my business so I could take care of my family. It's really not about my customers. Listen to me. You can't have your business without your customers. And so your big why is your family. Yes, I totally agree. Your big why is your family. And if a little bit of customers leaving would cause you to quit, your why is not big enough. Grow your why. Come on, get a big why. And then invest in your customers. Invest in those. Turn up your serve. Turn up your serve. Never lose focus. Now, how do I know you've lost focus? I know you lost focus because of your conversation. What do you talk about? What do you visit with people about? When you go to have coffee, who do you talk about? Who do you gossip about? Who do you slander? Listen to me. If you gossip and slander about others, you'll gossip and slander about me. I know you will, because you just got a good habit of it, don't you? Uh-huh. And you know what? All the gossip and slander about me you want to do is okay, because it's not going to stop me from doing what I'm supposed to do. It's not going to, because I have a big why. I have a big why. And my why seems to grow. It seems to grow. And I want to challenge you to get a bigger why. Get a bigger why, all right? So, not only do you bear up and go above the fray of what's going on, this difficulty, and not only do you remember your why, you invest in those you serve, never lose focus. Go back to, why am I here? You've got to ask that on a regular basis. You've got to come at that on a regular basis. Come back and do that. You got to do that regularly. On my desk, if you went upstairs to my office, there's a plaque. There's an 8x10 plaque, and it has my why right there. And so every time I sit down, I look at my why. Now, my why has five stanzas to it, and really it comes down to one word. It just comes down to one word, and that word is to serve others. Help them discover their best serve. Help them to unleash what's really always been there. See, to what's always really been there. Now, number five. There are times that you just feel exhausted. You feel like your tank is empty. You feel like, I just don't want to go any further. I just don't. You feel like, I need some time off. I need some time away. Well, time away is important. Every one of us need to take time off. We really do. Taking time off during a difficulty is not the time. It's not the time. It won't help you. It doesn't help you. Difficulty gets stronger while you're away. Okay? Calling in sick on a day that you know it's going to be a difficult day won't help you. The difficulty gets stronger because you're not there. Okay? So, what do you do? What you do is you give from your reserves. You give from your reserves. And you go right back to the very first thing I said. You bear up above the storm. You don't lose focus. You remember your why. You invest in those you serve. Never lose focus. And you give from your reserves. Now, how do I know you've lost focus? It's what you talk about. You spend all day long saying, well, that's half of the people called in sick. That's why. So, listen to me. Listen to me. Look at me. Come on. Just put your texting down and just listen to me for a second. Okay? Here's the deal. Those students that put the dog out this morning, left an empty house, walked to school, and now are in your breakfast line. They really don't care what's happened in your life. They really don't care who's not coming in. They really don't care. What they're hoping is that you're there to serve them with a smile. You're there to smile at them, to elevate them, to rally for them because you value them. And they want to be educated in some way about what real life is all about. Your children. So your spouse decided they're not sticking around anymore. Your spouse is leaving. I know. It's not fun. It's not fun. There's nothing fun about that, right? They're leaving, okay? Yet you're the one that's still going to deal and lead and care for your children. So you got a dad up or you got a mom up and you got to be that person. You just got to do that. You're the director. You're the director. So it's getting close to the holiday season and people are calling in sick, and yet there's more catering going on. There's more things, and you've got an audit coming up. You can complain all day long. The audit's still going to come. The catering's still going to happen. And so rather than losing focus and complaining about everybody that's not showing up, you just tap into your reserves. This season, this storm will be over. Let me tell you what happened in Bulgaria. We bared up. We took off. It was one of the sharpest uplifts that I'd ever been on a plane. We took off down that tarmac after they had wiped all that snow off the wings. And normally planes sort of take off like that. We didn't do that day. We took off and he bared up and we went. It felt like we was in a rocket. It felt like we had turned that plane on its ears and just gone straight up. I don't think we did, but it felt like that. It felt like the plane was shaking for a minute. And then all of a sudden we leveled off and we saw the sun. We saw the sun. Just below us was a great big storm. Just below us, smaller planes, smaller people would have given up. Yet that pilot that day did not give up. He took off. And I'm suggesting to you, you're much larger of a person on the inside than you imagine you are. And so when the storms of difficulty come down and you still must bring your best serve, here's how you do it. 5 things, then we're gone. Okay, really quick. I'm just going to rehearse them back to you. Then we're out of here, and then you get to go bring your best serve, all right? Because I'm Matt. I'm your friend. You know, you can reach me anytime. You can go old school and call me at 916-708-8103, or you can text me there, same number, 916-708-8103, or you can email me at success@mattupton.net. And so 5 things. Bear up. Soar above everything that's going on. Okay? Remember your why. If the difficulty can stop you, then you don't have a big enough why. Remember your why and upgrade it. Okay? Invest in those you serve. Number 3. Number 4, never lose focus. And number 5, give from your reserves sometimes. Sometimes you have to tap in to what's going on. All right? Just before you leave, I want to tell you something I'm pretty excited about. Starting January 1st, I'm going to begin a new leg of my serve, and I'm going to be offering what I call transformational coaching sessions, or TCS, transformational coaching sessions. If you go to my website and you look at the tab on the top that says SOS Transformational Coaching, it'll give you a list, kind of like a purpose statement of what transformational coaching is all about. Okay? And I look forward to seeing you. I'm so sorry I'm not going to see some of you this Saturday evening. All right? And until then, I'm your friend, and I can't wait to see you eyeball to eyeball, face to face, voice to voice, and be able to hug your neck. All right? And give me a call, 916-708-8103. I'll see you later.